Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, glad to be with you for a preview of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. It begins Thursday night with the final Sunday afternoon on CBS. 10-team league, the last 4 teams play on Thursday, but those 4 have a combined 8 wins against the top 3 seeds. So all reasons to see just how balanced this league has been all year long. Let's bring in our CBSSports.com columnist Gary Parrish to break this down. And Gary, until last year, the Missouri Valley had at least 2 teams in the NCAA tournament 9 straight years. Last year broke that streak. Drake was the only squad. Do you see at-large hopes for a team in this league if that team doesn't win the tournament?
Creighton, probably, but that's it. I mean, top 40 RPI. They only got 1 top 50 win, but they're 10-4 against the top 100. And then here's the key: they don't really have too many bad losses. Only 2 losses outside the top 100. That's the resume, and 25 wins overall. So that's a resume of a team that, if they were to slip up this week, they could still earn an at-large bid. But outside of that, that's all we got. If Creighton wins this tournament, it's a 1-bid league.
You see what they've got in terms of wins in New Mexico and that big win against Dayton. But like you said, it is just 1 win against the top 50. But it's not Creighton that's the 1 seed, Gary. It's Northern Iowa because of the tiebreaker rules. First time in school history as the top seed. When you look at the Panthers, though, Gary, they didn't play their best at the end. A 3-game skid before winning their last 2. And they've already lost once to both teams that they may see when they first step on the court. That's Drake or Indiana State. That's the 8-9 matchup. Would you be surprised either way, whether they won the whole thing or lost right away?
No, neither way. I mean, I'm with you. It's a team that, you want to be playing well down the stretch. That's not what's happening right now. Now, one of those losses, let's put it in context, was in the bracket buster to Siena, and that Siena team's going to be in the NCAA tournament, so you can probably excuse that one. But this is a team that just hasn't got enough done outside of the league, and then hasn't been dominant enough inside the league to put itself in position for an at-large bid. I mean, the RPI is 71. That's noteworthy because last year, the lowest RPI, or the worst RPI, to get into the tournament as an at-large was Oregon at 58. In other words, a team with a 71 RPI isn't in at-large consideration. And I know they're the #1 seed, but if they want to go to the NCAA tournament, they better win this whole thing.
All right, so we'll see if we see them on CBS on Sunday. What about Illinois State, Gary? We saw them on CBS last year on Sunday. They lost in the finals to Drake by 30. They're the 3 seed. They finished 11-7 in conference, 3 games back of Creighton and Northern Iowa. But because of that experience and the players they have, the explosive players in the backcourt, would you be surprised if they won the whole thing?
No, not surprised. Again, there's not a dominant team in this league, and so the thing about Illinois State, they got off to the great start, but great only on the surface. I wrote many times they had not done anything outside of the league, and I was actually critical of the way they scheduled, because this is a team, when you looked at who was coming back, who they had on their roster, that you looked at it and you said, okay, this is a team that can actually do some damage, that might be able to maybe make a Sweet 16 the way a couple of Valley teams did a few years ago, and yet they didn't schedule accordingly for whatever reason. I know it's hard to schedule, if you're in an MVC or the WAC and places like that, but at some point you just have to go on the road then and beat somebody's bye game and say, all right, you pay us $70,000, we're going to come to your place and we're going to try to beat you. I would have been more impressed with them losing a game, at a Syracuse or out of Illinois or wherever, just wherever you can go take a paycheck and go play, being competitive in those games, than just racking up wins against nobody. Because what happened was they had no cushion when they entered league play, and then they fall apart in league play. And once that happens, then they are totally out of the question for an at-large bid. And so, their RPI is 61, but that's not going to be good enough because, they're 4-5 against the top 100. You're 4-5 against the top 100. You're not in play.
All right, so that's 1 through 3, Gary, and Illinois State disappointed by who they played, not by necessarily how they played in middle parts of the season, certainly different parts of the season. The rest of the league, 4 through 9, all separated by 3 games, Gary, so it's been close all year long. But Bradley's the only other team, except from the top 3, that finished in Missouri Valley play above 500 in conference. So what should we expect from this tournament?
It's going to be all over the place. I mean, again, Creighton, I think, goes into the favorite, and rightfully so. But after that, I mean, do you really like Northern Iowa over Bradley or Illinois State or Wichita State, whatever? Take your pick. It really is a great event, though. I was there a couple of years ago. And they pack the arena. It's remarkable. They get better crowds than some of the BCS conference tournaments. So it's a wonderful event. But the problem is, we some people will look at the MVC and talk about, oh, it's great because there's so much balance and parity. Parity in your league is about the worst thing you can have for your league. You need great teams at the top good teams in the middle and bad teams at the bottom. They've got too many middle teams in this league, and it ends up bringing down the whole league because if you want to be a multi-bid league, if you want to be taken seriously on a national level, you've got to have a couple of stars at the top. This league doesn't have that, and it's why, again, if Creighton doesn't win the thing, if Creighton wins this, it's just going to be a one-bid league. All
right, we'll see how it all plays out. Gary Parrish, thank you very much, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, folks, for more on the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. And again, the finals Sunday afternoon on CBS. For Gary Parrish, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.